So why don't they have work zone folks working 24/7 until the project is finished? Why don't they just fucking do the project in like one day? Or like however many days it's going to be with around the clock work? Like, why don't they have more people working on one particular work zone so that the shit is, you know what I mean? Like ants on an anthill working on a fucking project. Like, why don't they just fucking bring in contractors or whomever? Like, why are the rules such that there's like, got to give these people so many hours and then they got to take a break and leave the fucking work zone there for like however long where it's just there, you know, and people are like, there's all these fucking cones and all these machines and all these vehicles and all this debris and all this bullshit. Like, why is that the rule? Like, why is that a reality? Well, because it benefits a certain group. It benefits people that work on the roads and it fucks with other people. So why not just make things simple and just bring in people who can finish the job in a timely manner instead of having these work zones just sitting unfinished, like incomplete, like work that has not been completed. So why are they just sitting there? And again, I mean, I've already explained it, because in an ideal scenario, you'd have a project, right? And then for any given project, you'd have people just come in and fucking do the work and it'd be like done. You know what I mean? No bullshit, no like, you know, hum to hum, you know, la-di-da-di-da, you know, and then it's just kind of like lollygag and like, you know, man, because look, I've gone through work zones and I get it. People need to communicate. They're on their phones and shit, smoking cigarettes. I totally fucking understand. Got to do what you got to do on the job to like, you know, have those hours go by, right? What I'm saying is, man, what if people just got in and did the fucking job and there were enough human resources, a sufficient number, adequate number of resources at play in that equation at work so that that project gets completed in a timely manner, that it gets expedited, that it gets finished, that it gets completed, like instead of any particular project taking days, weeks, months on end. And those projects, man, many of them, they seem to be unending. Some of them, man, I've seen they're multi-year long fucking projects. What's the stipulation, man? What is it? That like locally, you have to give the local guys, the local men and women, certain hours, and that means that those hours are restricted, and so in terms of those constraints, those monies are only allocated, or those hours are only allocated to people who are like part of like a local union or some shit, and so that people from like outside the region, outside the city or the town or the jurisdiction where the work is taking place, like they can't bring in contractors from fucking somewhere else, man, so that at nighttime when those work zones that are just sitting there, or whatever time those work zones are there without any type of work going on, there are other people to like fill in the gaps, to do the fucking work, man, like another shift. You know what I mean? So like you got a work zone, right? You got people working on the work zone, say 8, 10, 12 hours, and then they leave, right? They go home. And then you're like, okay, it's nighttime. There's no one here at this work zone. Like it's an unfinished, incomplete project, right? It's just fucking sitting here. You know, there's cones, there's machines. It's all this fucked up shit. It looks so fucking stupid. And they've been here for days. Granted, some work zones, there are people working there day and night. Or it's the opposite of even that. Instead of during the day, it's nighttime when the work is being done. And since the work started, they started at night. They've never worked during the day. It's always been work that's been done at nighttime when there's supposedly minimal traffic on the road or less traffic on the road. So you got both. You got day work, you got night work. I'm not referring to those projects. I'm not referring to those motherfucking projects. I'm referring to the projects that started at any fucking time, whether it was the daytime or the nighttime, when that work first began. And then, after a certain time, within the 24-hour clock cycle of day and night, there's time. There are hours when there's no one present at that work zone. I'm talking about the projects where there are hours on end when there are no human beings present working at those particular work zones. Capiche? Do we all fucking understand this? Are we all on the same fucking page? Why are there no human beings finishing the fucking project during those hours? Why, man? And don't tell me it's because there's large volume traffic at those times. I know that there are cases where there are low volume traffic patterns at those times. So what's the motherfucking deal? Oh, that's right. It's the union. Can't bring in people from out of city, from out of state, from another jurisdiction, who are licensed, who are credentialed, who are certified to work on road projects. No, man, you just got to take time off, right? You just got to leave the motherfucking work crew zone shit there, right? Got to leave the work zone there, with the cones and shit, the fucking machines. Why? Why is society structured in such a fucking rejected way? Why? Why don't you just finish the projects? Like, why aren't there contractors working day and night to fucking finish that shit so it's over and done with? Why? Why, man? I pretty much explained it. If you're not catching it, if you haven't grasped it yet, if you haven't figured it out, it's because the shit is rigged up, man. So let's put it into perspective. Let's look at it a different way. Let's say you got a small town. We'll go with the small town, right? Like a really tiny fucking small town. Let's say that small town is next to the Big Apple here in New York. Just some little fucking tiny outlying town, right? It's not New York. It's not New Jersey, the state of New Jersey, right? It's not New York, the state. It's like, say, somewhere in Connecticut. Got a little tiny fucking town. Just a little town. Like a little tiny town, right? Itty bitty little tiny town. In that town, it's not really that far from New York. It's not really that far from New Jersey. It's not really that far from a big city. But it's still nonetheless a little fucking town, right? So you got work crew shit going on there. Maybe there are only 5 projects in that town. The number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? And each one of those projects, those work zone fucking projects, I'm just thinking mathematically because I've studied mathematics at the university as a degree program. So I'm just trying to put it together and understand. At my age, I'm almost a half a century old. I'm trying to figure out why society does the dumbass fucking shit that dumbass society does. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you look at the industrial age, if you look at how we did shit with computers like 20 fucking years ago, like DOS and like floppy disks and shit, which is dumb shit. We don't do it that way anymore, right? Like, you don't use floppy disks anymore, right? So I'm just wondering why these goddamn fucking work crews are doing some floppy disk shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just wondering why these work zones are doing some, like, Alexander Graham Bell fucking telephone type shit. Lightning, rod, fucking, kite flying with the little key and shit, generating electricity for the first time. I'm just trying, figuring it all out and shit for the first time. I'm just trying to figure out why this shit is rigged up the fucking way that it is. So, you got a small town. There are 5 projects. Notice I didn't say there are 10 projects. No, and by the way, I'm looking at the other side of the road. It's 2:37 p.m. Today's the 17th of May, 2019. And you got a bunch of traffic fucking stopped. And it's not even rush hour. So, notice I didn't say in my example that there are 10 projects in this town. Or 15, or 20, or 25, or 30, or 50, or 100. I said there are 5 projects. Let's say the work crew comes in early in the morning. Let's say they start work at like between 7 and 8 a.m. So from 7 to 8 a.m. before traffic, really picks up in like some major cities, in their little small town, they start their work crew shit on these 5 projects at fucking 7 a.m. Then they're going to work until like 4:30-ish, 4:30, before 5, they're already out of there, okay? They're not even doing 9 to 5 shit. They're just like, yo, it's like 4:30, let's go, right? So for the rest of the time of that 24-hour clock, from 4:30, 5, they're already gone. So from 5 to 12 is 7 hours, right? 12 a.m., midnight, it's the next day. And then from midnight of the next day until 7 a.m., it's 7 more hours. So that's what? 5 to 7 is 12. 12 to 7 is 7, right? So you're looking at 14 hours. Am I wrong? Did I do the math right? They clear the work zone in terms of humans being present at that work zone. They're gone. They're gone before 5 p.m. So let's just say 5 fucking p.m. Let's say they worked until 5 p.m. From 5 p.m. until midnight, when there are no humans there, but they got the cones and the work fucking vehicles and tractors, whatever, machines and shit, right? 7 hours that they've been gone since 5 p.m. until midnight. 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12. Counting that shit on my fingers at 7 motherfucking hours. Little kids, man, 1-year-olds can do that math. Then, from 12 a.m., midnight, to 1 is another hour. To 2, to 3, to 4, to 5, to 6, to 7. 7 more hours. That's 14 hours. There's nobody there. There's nobody fucking there at that goddamn fucking work zone. Why not? Why not? What's the fucking purpose? Why not just have contractors come in and do one project at a time before there are 4 other projects even starting? Why not? Why not just have everybody who's available, every available human resource? Why not just have every available ant on the anthill do one of the 5 projects, knock it out, finish it, get it done, right? 1 to 2 days, 3 days max maybe, right? The shit is done because you're working around the clock. You're not even taking a break because you got somebody there who's fucking ready and able and willing to work. Think about it. Then guess what happens? Then there's no work zone any fucking more. And then other people who have to go places like, drive, those people can fucking get where they need to go, and there's not some stupid motherfucking work zone. Then you go on to the next one. Then you go on to the next one. Now you just finished 3 work zone projects. And they're gone. Off the streets, off the roadways. Then you knock out the remaining 2. Why? Why, man? Why do they have these endless motherfucking... I've already explained it. It's because the shit is rigged up. It's motherfucking rigged up, man. It stops traffic. It diverts traffic. It fucks with traffic flow. It's a big motherfucking problem, and it's a huge motherfucking goddamn scam. Yeah, I know, and I totally understand. Some of those road projects are totally necessary. I totally understand that. I'm not talking about the ones that are necessary. I'm talking about the ones that are unfucking necessary, that we all know that they're unnecessary. In addition to the ones that are necessary and that could and can be completed if the system were to stop using goddamn fucking floppy disks